Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. I extend my sincerest gratitude to each and every one of you for being with us for our 2015 pilgrimage in Vrindavan. Special gratitude to my worshipable God sisters and God brothers, and to each of you. Gratitude makes the heart fertile, so that the seed of prem, the bhakti lata, can grow. Within this Kali Yuga, in the world we live, practicing true bhakti, it will inevitably be challenged at practically every step of our life. Savai pung samparo dharmo yato bhaktiradhokshaje ahoitiki aprati hatagya yatma suprasidati. The Srimad Bhagavatam describes that the essence and the supreme dharma is loving devotional service to the transcendent, supreme, absolute truth, Sri Krishna. True devotion must be without any elements of motivation, selfish motivation, arrogance. And true devotion cannot be impeded by any circumstances. Bhava Grahi Janardana. Because Krishna, he sees the very essence of our love. According to our conditioned desires and experiences in this world, there is so much selfishness, so much of an obsession to prove to ourselves and to prove to others that we are better than them. And in the material world, one who could really do that good is considered strong, heroic, and successful. But from a spiritual perspective, in whatever name you call it, it is all due to spiritual weaknesses. It is actually pathetic in light of the soul. And the whole world around us, in so many ways, is trying to influence us, that we will be happy, we will be protected. We will be protected if we are successful in our mission of being selfish and egoistic. We want to be the enjoyer. And one who really enjoys is considered successful in life. But in order to actually connect with the soul, we have to give up these tendencies. Seva means to serve without selfishness, unmotivated and uninterrupted. It is this seva, devotional service, that is our true nature. And even in spiritual life, these same tendencies can so much mislead us. Even in the name of devotion, our egos can triumph if we are not very careful. Rupa Goswami tells us how important it is to associate with devotees, and especially in holy places. Tatra tishtami narada yatra gayanti madbhakta. Actually, wherever the devotees are gathered together with sincere hearts to hear about, to glorify, and to serve the Supreme Lord, that is a holy place. Krishna is there. But the Supreme Lord has established these holy places for us to come together, to leave aside all the petty things that we think are so important in this world, and dive deeply into the true purpose of our lives. On Kartik Purnima, 500 years ago, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally came to Vrindavan. This will be very much the theme of our yatra, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's visit. He arrived 500 years ago, and 50 years ago from this year, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada departed from Vrindavan. For the same purpose that Lord Chaitanya came here, Srila Prabhupada physically departed. In 1922, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, upon his first meeting with Srila Prabhupada, he gave him this order, that you should take the message of Lord Chaitanya and spread it throughout the world in the English language. Many years later, Srila Prabhupada came here to Vrindavan to prepare himself for this impossible mission. And 50 years ago in 1965, he left his rooms at Seva Kunj, where Shri Shri Radha Govinda Dev performed their eternal Rasa Leela, to go to Mumbai, and then to Calcutta. In Sri Mayapur Dham, he took the blessings at his Guru Maharaj's Samadhi, and then he boarded the cargo ship Jaladuta. He crossed over several oceans and seas and continents, and 38 days later arrived in America. Today is November 8th. On November 8th, 1965, Srila Prabhupada was living in New York City. He was a guest of Dr. Mishra, who was a yoga teacher. Dr. Mishra gave Srila Prabhupada accommodations in his own room. And after some time, Srila Prabhupada was staying on the 5th floor in a little flat in Manhattan that had no windows, didn't have a private bathroom. That's where Srila Prabhupada lived. And today, 50 years ago, he wrote a letter to one of his godbrothers. If we read Srila Prabhupada's biography, he just had heart attacks. He was just living in a little town called Butler, Pennsylvania. He had recently come to New York. He was really living in poverty. But yet, in his letter, he wrote what incredibly good scope there was for spreading Lord Chaitanya's teachings in America. Srila Prabhupada would see even the smallest positive opportunity as something so great. He wrote that our Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he wanted us to spread this mission throughout the world. And in his life, he did send people to the West, but they did not have much results. But I'm in New York, and I see there's great potential. And I see other people coming from India who hardly have any philosophy, and they have beautiful buildings, and they're getting followers. If only we had a building, we would be established in America. So let us work together. If you can send some people and send some funds to actually get a building. I found a really good one, and it's not much money. Then I could be the representative of Gaudiya Mata and manage it for you. Have confidence in me. This is a wonderful opportunity. That letter was sent on November 8th. On November 9th, at 6:00 p.m., Srila Prabhupada was sitting in his little room, and all the lights went out. In fact, all the lights went out in that whole area of America. There was a blackout. 800,000 people were trapped underground in subways because they were depending on electricity. 30 million people were affected. It was huge news. Even me, I was just a teenage boy living in the Midwest and I heard all about it. It shook the country. Just about 13 hours of no electricity, and the whole nation was shaken. Billions of dollars lost. Such fear. So many robberies and violence. In India, the lights go out and it's just like any other day. Anyways, after the lights were out for about 2 hours, at 8 o'clock, Dr. Mishra sent with one of his assistants a candle and some fruit. So they knocked on Srila Prabhupada's door. And the person who delivered the candle and fruits, he was later interviewed. He said Swamiji was sitting so completely peacefully, while the rest of the city was traumatized in fear and anxiety. He was just sitting peacefully, smiling and chanting Krishna's names. And Srila Prabhupada said, "Thank you." And he asked, "What's happening?" And the person told him, and Prabhupada just smiled and continued to chant. Not too long after that, Srila Prabhupada got the response to his letter. His godbrother told him encouraging words, in the sense that he was very pleased to hear about the scope of preaching in America and Srila Prabhupada's enthusiasm to do so. But he also told him that our mat does not have the funds to send anything or anyone. Actually, in Srila Prabhupada's letter, he said, "I only have 9 more days until my visa ends. And if you send me a positive response, I will stay on to serve. Otherwise, I will probably return to India." It was Krishna's arrangement. Not long after this, from that same little windowless flat that Srila Prabhupada was living, his typewriter, his manuscripts, and all his belongings were stolen. Srila Prabhupada had a return ticket to Vrindavan, to Radha Damodar, but he stayed on. He stayed on motivated by compassion. Because Vrindavan was within his heart. And he wanted to share that with the world. And then in 1971, Srila Prabhupada brought the first group of foreign people to Vrindavan in the history of the world. The Brijavasis could not believe the size of the group of foreigners that were coming. I happened to be here at that time. Srila Prabhupada brought a bus of 40 people, and the town came to welcome him. And then the next year, at Rupa Goswami's Samadhi, Srila Prabhupada gave 1 month of lectures on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, nectar of devotion, to devotees that had come from all over the world. Srila Prabhupada wanted to bring Vrindavan to the world, and he wanted to bring the world to Vrindavan. And for most all of us, it was that compassion and the sacrifice that was our qualification for being here today. We begin our 2015 Vrindavan Kartik Yatra by offering our Dandavat pranams and our sincerest gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, to all of our previous acharyas, and to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Our Vedic scriptures describe how there are 14 planetary systems within this universe. Among the upper planets, Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Swargaloka, Janaloka, Maharloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. The Earth planet is a middle planetary system. Above our planets, Swargaloka, where there is unimaginable prosperity and incredibly healthy, competent bodies to enjoy. There's no poverty. There's hardly any suffering. Just enjoyment. And most people who follow religious processes, that is their goal, to go to these heavenly planets of Swargaloka. But above that are the planets of the rishis, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka. They don't care anything about sensual enjoyment. There, their enjoyment is of a more subtle level. Even in this world, sensual pleasures, they come and they go. Money, sex, property, all of these things. But they can't compare to peace of mind or inner happiness. So in the higher planets, these great sages and rishis, they are very deeply immersed in this inner wealth of happiness. And the highest planet is Brahmaloka. But Krishna tells us in Gita, Abrahma bhavanarloka punar avatanorjana mamupetya tu konteya punar janmana vidyate. From the highest planet in this material world, Brahmaloka, down to the lowest, they're all places of misery. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshana darshana. Because in all of these places there is birth, old age, disease, and ultimately death. But Krishna says one who attains Mayapur never has to take birth in these miserable situations again. Beyond Brahmaloka, beyond this material universe, there is the Mahatattva, where there are limitless such universes. And beyond the cloud of the Mahatattva, beyond the entire material existence, is the Paravyoma, or the spiritual sky, or Brahmajyoti. And there within this spiritual sky, a place beyond birth, beyond death, beyond suffering, there are limitless spiritual planets called Vaikuntha, where various forms of the one supreme absolute truth eternally reside. And above all of these Vaikuntha planets, above meaning the highest place of the deepest loving relationships with the Lord, is Krishna Loka, or Goloka, the abode of Lord Sri Krishna. Krishna tells in Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata, abhyutanama dharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham. That again and again he descends into this world, but only once in a day of Brahma, which is about 8,600,000,000 years, one day and one night. Krishna, in his original form from Goloka Vrindavan, descends into this world. It is described, Krishna told Sri Radha, his own Hladini Shakti, that I will descend into the material world, and you should also come with me. And Sri Radha said, but I will find no happiness without the river Yamuna, the hill Govardhan, and the forests of Vrindavan. And Krishna told, I have already sent them. So this Vrindavan, within the material world where we are sitting today, is none different than the eternal Goloka of the spiritual sky. Lord Brahma, he performs tapasya and offers prayers to become a hill in Vrindavan, so that Shri Radha Govinda and their associates could place their feet upon his head, and he could assist the pastimes here. Lord Shiva, he also appears within Vrindavan on a hill just to assist in the pastimes. And Lord Vishnu does as well, in Barsana and Nandagaon. And we read about Uddhav, a royal prince and Krishna's dearmost friend in Dwarka, who was praying to be even a simple piece of grass in Sri Vrindavan Dham. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, the Devas, they all glorify Vrindavan as the most glorious of all places within creation. Why? Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita describes how Krishna, he is thinking that within the material universes, even the most pious, the most pure, and the most religious people, they worship me in my supreme majesty, as being the creator, the controller, the proprietor. And serve me in a very subordinate position. But such majesty cripples the intimacy of pure love. In Vrindavan, the inhabitants think of me as their son, or their friend, or their lover. Vrindavan is a place where the sweetness, madhurya, of Krishna is so deep and reveals himself so intimately that that sweetness causes the majestic, all-powerful nature of the Absolute Truth to move aside. Krishna was thinking, according to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, that my mother, when she sees I'm naughty, for my protection, out of motherly love, she will bind my waist with a soft rope. And she will nourish me. She will feed me with the milk of her own body. And she will protect me. In fact, at every moment she will be worried about my safety. Because to her, I am completely helpless and dependent on her. And because she has that love, it is so powerful. I become subordinate to that love. And although, yes, I am the Supreme Absolute Truth, the controller of all controllers, the God of all gods, I feel helpless and dependent upon her. And my friends, the gopas, or cowherd boys, they want to play with me. They joke with me. In their infinite love for me, they think me their equal. Sometimes we wrestle. Sometimes I win and sometimes I lose. And the gopis, their love for me is so deep that when they reproach me, when they chastise me in a sulky mood, all the reverent, those words steal away from my mind all the reverent hymns of the Vedas. In Vrindavan, Krishna steps outside his supreme role as being God to reciprocate with the love of his devotees. It is this mood of Vrindavan that Krishna descends to reveal to the world once in a day of Brahma. Krishna descended with his eternal loving associates, and he brought the supreme abode with him. "5,000 years ago, Krishna came at the end of the Dwarka Yuga. Rupa Goswami tells us that Krishna has 4 qualities that he only displays in Vrindavan, that neither the Jiva nor Brahma or Shiva or even Lord Narayan display. Krishna has 64 qualities, Rupa Goswami tells, and among them, the Jiva, Mamaivam so Jiva Loke, the eternal soul within the hearts of all living beings, has 50 of these qualities in minute proportion. 55 Brahma and Shiva, and 60 Lord Narayan. But the 4 qualities that make the supreme all-inclusive opulence of Krishna's sweetness are his flute, his beauty, his pastimes, and the intimacy of the love of his devotees. And all other incarnations are present within Krishna when he appears within this world. When Krishna performed his Leela here, it was